Brazilian Airlines and ATO.
Following the first anniversary of the Gulf War, Israel's ambassadors of song, Duo Reim, are presenting a celebration of hope and harmony in their new show, which is called Bridge the Gulf of Hearts. Nice title. Now, before we talk to our two guests, Benny Rosenbaum and Yisrael Gottesdiener, let's have a look at some of their music. Very identifiable music that if you close your eyes and you listen to it for 30 seconds, you know it's music from Israel.
Oh, such a beautiful morning.
You got to feel so early. You were to talk of philosophy of people's music. That's right. It
You
is
were
Israel.
just saying to me that This is the time you normally go to sleep.
And not this, you know, you told me that you wake up at 3:30 in the morning to get here on time. I said, that's more or less the time that I go to sleep. To tell the truth, to come here at just before 7 was
a little early.
It was a little bit difficult. You know why? Because here is winter, and the morning here is very, very early. I mean, too dark.
It's very dark.
And in Israel now it's summertime.
Yeah.
So 7 o'clock in the morning is almost 12 you know, noontime.
Looking in suntan at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Now tell us about the show that we've just seen. That was a television show.
It was a television show that was dedicated to us as the Duo Reim. I'll tell you, what you're doing right here, I mean, the Good Morning South Africa show, we were hosting a television show in Israel permanently once a week. A show where we hosted other people, we interviewed them, we sang by ourselves, and we had guest singers. When we celebrated our 18th anniversary...
18 years.
18.
That's a few years ago.
That's pretty good.
Listen, we are 24 years together. Can you believe it?
It's like a marriage?
It's like a marriage. It's you know, we are right now in the middle of writing a book. We write a book, you know, all the married couples. You know, write a book, How to Stay Together for Such a Long Time. That's going to be a bestseller.
You know what, I can tell you one thing. We're 24 years together. I always, when we stay on stage, Benny will stay on the right side, and I'll be on the left side. Now I can tell you one thing. Not talking about when we in business. When in the evening, pleasure, going to some friends, sitting around the table. Whenever Benny will take his seat, I will take the left. Nothing to do with our political ideas. You know what I mean, right?
Just
not that one is right and one is left. Just I'm sitting on his left side, always. I never saw his right face. Show me.
In the morning.
You're looking at his best side.
Yeah.
You know, maybe to go back to the show that we just saw, so when we celebrated our 18th anniversary, which in Hebrew is Chai, I guess many people heard the word Chai, which in Hebrew means alive. The Israeli television dedicated a special show for us, a show of 54 minutes on television in prime time, and we had many guests, and we were the hosts, and that was part of the show.
Part of the show. I think the remarkable thing about Israel is that if you're there, particularly on an important day like Independence Day, and you move from one home to the other, there is so much singing and rejoicing, and everybody knows the words.
I agree with you, and I must tell you that there are some nations, and I think Israel is one of them. We like singing, we like to dance, we're just happy people. That's it. And now when you celebrate our Israel Independence Day and you go from city to city, you see so many, you know, entertainers, singers, orchestra, whatever, and people just going out from their houses and dancing.
They do, they dance in the streets.
It's unbelievable. I can compare our nation, I think, to South American and to you people here from South Africa. I think, you don't agree with me?
We don't always all know the words, you know. This is the thing. You move and everybody knows the words.
It's a thing of learning. You'll learn, don't worry. But you know, it's interesting that you mention it, because I know we're traveling quite a lot, and then, you know, now that the media and the press internationally, so the whole world becomes like a small village, we know that Israel is known as a country of problems and troubles and wars and tension and all these sort of things, which is true to a certain degree. But the real life in Israel, the actual life in Israel on the daily basis, it's not only the Independence Day. I promise you, you come any night of the week into Tel Aviv at 2 o'clock in the morning,
there's a party.
People, it's not a party. It's a bumper-to-bumper queue on the roads with cars, because Israeli people do like to go out and have a good time and entertain and so on. It's fantastic, which I didn't find in any other country.
Do we look like, I mean, happy? You know, yesterday night we arrived to South Africa. From Israel, it was a long flight, and when they took us from the airport, they said, what do you want to do now? I said, do you have a tennis court here? Yes? We'd like to play tennis. We like to go to the swimming pool. He said the winter. What the difference winter and summer in South Africa, they say winter time, no raining. Summer is raining. So now we can play tennis.
You're right. All day.
All day.
You've got 2 shows that you're performing. One is tonight and the one on Saturday night at the Linda Auditorium. I wonder if I shouldn't just give the phone number. You can either get hold of tickets at CompuTicket or phone 337-1950 or 440-9902. And that's for tickets for tonight and tomorrow night. We're going to...
It's tonight and...
It is, it's
Saturday
Saturday night. Of course, tomorrow night is Shabbat, so
Shabbat, right.
it's tonight and Saturday night.
Shabbat for us, it's different night. I don't want to say we do nothing, but we, in the houses...
It's different singing.
Singing around the table, no microphone,
no
orchestra. Nobody has to pay for ticket, you know, to see Duo Reim. You can join us sitting around the table, eating some good Jewish food, if you heard about the gefilte fish, the chulen.
Our Jewish cuisine is one of my best. The blintzes are my favourites.
What about rice? Didn't you talk about rice before?
That was Paul Dean's.
Yeah.
I love rice.
After the news, we're going to talk, because we're going to have weather and news in a moment, but I'd like to get into Hasidic music and the whole tradition of Hasidim, bringing the ordinary people into the whole mainstream of Israeli life. So I wonder if we could sort of talk about that afterwards.
Pleasure.
Stay with us. We're going to be chatting to Benny Rosenbaum and Yisrael Gottesdiener straight after the weather and the news.
Dus kuns verag.
Die natuur het 'n antwoord vir haar klywigheid geskep wat reeds vir duisende jare gebruik word. Dit is afkomstig van die vrug van die senaplant. Al wat ons moes doen was om dit meer gerieflik te maak om te neem. Binne enkele ure bring Senekot sagkens en doeltreffend verligting. Senekot, die natuurlike keuse.
Must just correct something there, and that is that the ballet, Tales of Hoffmann, was choreographed by Veronica Piper. It was Veronica we were looking at. And of course, if you know anything about ballet, you'll be able to recognize her lovely touch. It looks like a fabulous ballet. Sorry about the mistake there, Veronica. We're going to reintroduce our guests and from Duo Reim, Benny Rosenbaum and Yisrael Gottesdiener.
Right,
Good.
that's all right.
Okay,
It's not easy.
You know, we spoke before about Hasidic songs, before the news. I must tell you that we have 20 records. Most of them are Hasidic songs. The words are taken from the Bible or from the prayer book, but we have many, many songs without any one word. You can say oy oy oy, you can say bom bom bom, you can say I did I, or the way you say oy oy oy, South Africa, it goes something like this. Ay 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 ay, ay 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 ay.
Morning.
Ay 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 ay, ay 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 ay. Oy, 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 oy.
Like dancing?
Oy, oy, oy.
My feet haven't stopped moving since you started.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that is the kind of music that you make.
Yeah, this is kind of, that's Hasidic music, which to the great part is very happy.
Tell us a little bit about the background of Hasidism.
Hasidism, okay, you know, how long do we have? Because there are many books written on it. Secondly, I don't know if we have we have some knowledge, but you know, we are singers. To summarize it very shortly, you know, the Jewish religion is a religion that believes in one God. We worship one God, and we have like a codex of books of behavior. We call it, it's the Bible, and then it comes the Gemara, Talmud, which people heard. That's many books. It's heavy stuff, and it really organizes our lives from A to Z on all levels. It's
How
very
academic do you have to be able to understand it?
Very much so. In order to really cover the material in a deep way, one has to learn many, many years. And that's exactly where Hasidism, this movement that started a few hundred years ago, came up, because it became too heavy on people. Not everybody is really able to learn all this stuff. People know from father to son and to grandson what to do, what not to do, the restrictions, etc., but not to the details. And the Hasidic movement said, that's not so important. This depth of learning is not that important. The most important thing is to believe in God, to worship God with happiness, to do it joyously, with happiness. And that's where the prayers became much happier, with more songs, more melodies, and this is the Hasidic music.
So Hasidism really started to make religion happier.
I absolutely agree with you, and I must tell you that in order to enjoy from Hasidic songs, you don't have to be Hasid. you can also join us. And we sing Oy Oy Oy, you join us, you sing with us, and I think that's what we're going to be tonight and Saturday night. People asking us, what kind of show do you do?
Yes, well,
So
tell
we
us about the
said,
show.
You are folkloristic, or you sing, the words are taken from the Bible. You know, when you hear something about it, it seems to be like heavy. It's not true. Come tonight, please, to our show, and you see us very happily, you know, talking between the songs, explain a little bit.
Do you talk in English?
We talk in English. We do know to talk in English. I hope you understand what I'm talking now.
African.
But I must tell you one thing, that in the show itself, we try not to be on stage only and the people looking at us and say, all right, now we pay for the ticket and now I would like to enjoy. This is not the way. I mean, this is the result. But we try, to teach the people, even in between, some new melody we brought from Israel. As we said, no words, and even if we have a few words in Hebrew, it's very, very, very easy.
A little bit of Yiddish thrown in here and
Leslie,
there?
at the end of the show, just I want to tell you, we finish it that everybody singing with us, going back home with a little bit of spirit that we brought from Israel.
You introduced us in the very beginning as the ambassadors, and that was a title that was given to us many years ago, because that's what they tell us. We bring a certain spirit of the Israeli atmosphere, the Israeli culture, the Jewish culture onto stage. Within these 2 hours, with the 3-hour stage, we sing Hasidic songs, we sing old Jewish songs, we sing in Hebrew, we sing in Yiddish. We translated part of the songs into English so that non-Hebrew speaking people may also understand. We introduce the songs, we talk in between the songs, and not always to explain the lyrics, but to put people, the audience, the viewers, into the atmosphere that we like to present on stage, to present the background and the place we come from.
I noticed that you've had a marvelous touring history. You've worked all over the place. If I look at some of the places, I mean, you were the first Israeli performers to appear in the Soviet Union by invitation. That must have been very, very moving.
It was in 1988. It was the first, I think, first time this Israeli entertainer went into the Soviet Union.
What was your reception like?
It was something like, I cannot explain. I must tell you, first time in Moscow, in Estonia, in the north, in Tallinn, we went on stage and we were sure that everybody knows the repertoire and everybody knows, I'm talking about the Jewish crowd over there, because we also gave a performance for the Estonian people and the Russian people. So we started to sing Yerushalayim Shezah, which Jerusalem, which is a very, very famous song. They looked at us. They sang very quiet, very silent. At the end of the show, they were clapping and shouting, unbelievable. We asked them, why in the beginning you react so quiet? They said, listen, for many, many years, we worried about something. Someone is looking, someone is watching us, you know. We cannot go to Israel, we're not allowed. I'm talking about till 1988. So you were great, really fantastic, but we couldn't react because this is, you know, what we feel. But in the end, when you open us and they sang, they danced, they touch us, they said, maybe you're the reason that we are going now to Israel.
That's been very moving.
It was very moving. For us, it was also a great experience. First of all, we had heard so much about Russia and the Jews in Russia and the fact that they were not allowed to leave their country, Russia, to go to Israel, etc.
All practice Judaism?
No, they don't practice Judaism. Many of them don't. Because, you know, as you know, the Soviet Union is so huge, and the restrictions were pretty hard. So during the years, many things really were left out. And that's maybe one of the reasons that we were surprised to find, for example, our cassettes. We came to places in Russia where, you know, we wouldn't dream that anybody would know about us. And we found our cassettes, and we were asked, how come that you listen to our cassettes? You don't understand a word. And they explained to us that one of the means to learn Hebrew, which they wanted all the time, was through cassettes. You know, they just listened to Israeli music, and through that they tried to pick up words in Hebrew. The desire was there. The ability, the possibilities, and the options haven't always been there. So we had, for us it was a very, very special trip. It was also very special for us to appear for the non-Jewish audiences there, which we found very good as audiences. They're very thirsty and very appreciative of any culture. We felt very well on stage, to that extent that, you know, at a certain point we told the band, and that wasn't in the program, we told the band to stop for a minute, we put our microphones down, and we sang 1 or 2 songs without accompaniment, without microphones, because we sang in a very old theater with a great acoustic. We just felt that the audience was so with us, we wanted to change it a little bit, and we just sang in 2 voices, a cappella, and it was very good. It was very good.
Like we did here.
Yeah.
Like we did here. You know, one thing...
just one sentence, really. When we left, outside we saw a few black cars. You know, the KGB went out of the car, they kept tense. They listened to us as well.
They heard our cassettes also, you know,
Yeah.
the KGB.
Yeah,
They
I'm
knew
sure
us.
they
Yeah.
did. Oh, I'm sure they did.
I think what we have to mention here, those who brought us all the way from Israel, is Bnei Akiva. Benny, he was born in Haifa, and I am from Tel Aviv.
2 cities in Israel.
Both of us started our career, as we say, from Bnei Akiva.
Which is an educational...
Right.
Akiva it's a youth movement. It's a youth movement, educational. There are many youth movements in Israel. This is sort of a religious youth movement.
Very Zionist people, and I think the one who is here, Yossi Kahana, is doing a great job.
Yes, there's a big camp at Mossel Bay where all the children go to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
and I think it's really a great, great thing. And tonight we'll have the opportunity to give them back, I mean, what they give us. And not only that, I mean, the people here in South Africa, I must tell you, I cannot believe we arrived only 48 hours ago. And since we arrived, what do you want for breakfast? What do you want for lunch? Do you like lax? Do you want gefilte fish? No, we're on diet. We want to play tennis. You must eat something.
Well, bagels go any time of the
We
day.
did that as well.
Yeah,
And we had a steak,
And talking about kosher steak, listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
This is something.
There are so many people out there who are just dying to hear some more of your music. Let's hear a little bit more and we'll come back and chat afterwards. Okay?
Pleasure.
Die gereste sie Sonne geschenkt ohne Gott. Nur an Maltischke, jüdische
Now that was very melancholy.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, it's
You know, we
really-
sing it a special, a mother. Doesn't matter where is she. She can be my mother, she can be your mother, she can be the mother of the world. But when you say a Yiddish mama, it's a little bit of the Jewish taste. Whatever you think about your mother, that's it.
With some sadness, as you could hear,
Yeah.
I guess.
The songs in Fiddler on the Roof have a lot of this kind of flavor. There are some sad ones, there are some happy ones. Is that basically
I think the
Hasidism?
songs, yeah, the songs of Fiddler on the Roof, as far as we are concerned, are based on a certain musical background. It's a Jewish themes, Hasidic themes, and it's sometimes happy, as we said about Hasidic music, and very often it is also sad, as the story of the Fiddler on the Roof, you know, the man that had to leave his village, etc., which unfortunately happened many times
Sure.
to us during our history. And it definitely reflects in our music, as it does in any culture, you know. The feeling and the emotions of a nation definitely comes into some expression in the books, in the songs, in the lyrics and the music,
But
of
also
course.
very, very happy. For example, to lie,
L'chaim,
L'chaim, L'chaim, to lie. Here's to the father I try to be. Here's
My wife
to
is not here.
My wife. All right. Some regards. Hi, family.
Now, of
Yeah.
all the places you've performed, I'm just having a look at some of the venues.
Yeah.
From the Negev to the
Yeah.
Desert Inn in Vegas to New York's Carnegie Hall.
I must tell you, we are too old and we became senilic in order to remember all the places. But I
Are
can
the
tell you,
highlights?
the highlights is Rio de Janeiro, not far from Copacabana,
Did you have
not
the dancing
far
girl?
from the beach.
Definitely.
And I'll give you an example, and I must tell you, when we try to compare the people here in South Africa, we say South America, Brazil is more or less the same, very good heart. And we talk about Brazil, we talk about good football, excellent coffee, and a wonderful rhythm of samba.
Oh lele, oh la la, pega no ganze, pega no ganza. That's Portuguese.
oh, lele. Come on,
Rain.
dance. Oh, la, la.
But he has got highlights of performances and places, and they're really, you know, throughout 24 years or so, there are places that are, let's say, of more importance or that we remember better. Because if you go to America and you say, well, I appeared at the Carnegie Hall, everybody will say, oh,
That's impressive.
that's impressive. Or you say Kennedy Center in Washington.
That's very impressive.
Which we did. So these are a few places, but you know, there are big places like the McCormick place in Chicago that holds 10,000 seats.
Olympia
But for us,
Paris.
Olympia in Paris,
Yeah.
Paris. But you know,
Place des Arts in Canada.
Plus
Place
we
des
did,
Arts.
yes, all these places are great. But for us, sometimes a place like Jerusalem, the Western Wall, which I believe you heard of, there's a huge square in front of the Western Wall, and we performed more than once there, outdoors, at certain events that take place in Israel sometimes, and there you talk about 40,000 people, 50,000 people, but it's not only the people or the number of people who are in the audience, it's the place, it's the atmosphere, it's Jerusalem, which with everything that it combines
And represents.
and represents.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about, you talked before about the Israeli Independence Day. So for us to appear on the Israeli Independence Day in Jerusalem, in front of the Western Wall, with 50,000 people celebrating with us,
Yeah,
that's special.
Something.
That's very special.
Yeah,
Yeah. You guys started in the army.
that's right. We was 24 years ago. We met 1967 in the army, in the Rabbinical Army Choir. We were like as singers there, our groups, you know, in the army going from base to base every night. But we are in a special choir, we call it the Rabbinical Army Choir, only men, no women. What can we do? This was after the show, not during the show. And 12, 14, 15 people singing wonderful, these voices together. And after 1967, after the 60 war, Israel became a little bit more, you know, large here and there. And they were looking for, you know, more entertainment in Israel. I'm talking about the army. So we divided the choir for a few and small parties. We were lucky. Benny and myself, we were in the same party. We and another guitarist. Suddenly we heard that our voices and the harmony is very, very nice. And so our friends in the choir said, first of all, we'll give the name. We're good friends. Ra'im in Hebrew means friends. So this will be your name. And to tell you the truth, we finished the army, we started our career. We didn't believe, not at all, that we are going to stay and to sing together
for 24 years.
25 years. And we are sitting now with you and believing, looking back, say, it's something for our children, and maybe for our grandchildren. I don't know, I'm talking like an old man, right? Because we feel that we have to do more and more and more. But it's really a very nice, a good expression for us to be here with you and to talk about our past. Right.
Well, you're going to have a chance to see them tonight and on Saturday night. We've got the numbers for you, 440-9902, I think it is, or 337, just get that number again, 337-1950, or book at CompuTicket, and you'll be able to see these guys performing after 24 years. They can give you a really good show. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Doreen.
And may this just be the first of many visits.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You're going to pay the bills now.